Chosen one, you have won, and the money that once felt blocked, delayed, or trapped behind invisible walls is beginning to move like water. But listen closely, because this is not a message about chasing money. It is about becoming the kind of person provision can trust. You did not arrive here by accident. A higher hand has guided you into this moment because your spirit needs confirmation before your eyes see the full evidence. For a long time, it may have felt like every door opened for someone else while you stood in front of locked gates. You worked, you prayed, you stayed faithful. You smiled while calculating bills in your mind. You helped others while secretly needing help yourself. And still, somehow, you kept going. That matters, because the battle was not only around your finances, it was around your identity. If the river opened before the channel was clear, the flow could have flooded the wrong places. So the delay carved depth. The pressure created discipline. The silence trained discernment. Now something is shifting. The money is not the miracle. The new you is the miracle. And once the channel is clear, the water knows where to go. I need you to understand why this matters, because if you only hear the words "money will flow," you may miss the deeper warning and the deeper blessing. This message is going to show you why the financial wilderness was not empty, how to recognize the first signs that the flow has already started, why victory still comes with a test, and what old version of you must be released before the river widens. And near the end, there is something important about your mind, your clarity, and the hidden switch connected to flow that most people never talk about. Stay with this until the end, because this is not just about receiving more. It is about not blocking what you have already been prepared to carry. For a long time, you may have thought the wilderness was proof that you were doing something wrong. You looked at your life and wondered why the numbers did not match the effort. You wondered why your prayers seemed to rise into silence. You wondered why every time you got close to breathing again, another bill, another delay, another rejection, or another unexpected problem pulled the air out of your chest. And the hardest part was not only the lack, it was the confusion. Because you knew you were not lazy. You knew you were not empty. You knew there was something in you that was meant to build, serve, create, lead, provide, and rise. But the outside world kept reflecting a different story. It kept saying, "Not yet." It kept saying, "Wait." It kept saying, "Try again." It kept saying, "Start over." And after enough starting over, even a strong spirit begins to wonder if the promise was imagined. But hear this clearly. What felt like lack was not empty. What felt like delay was not wasted. What felt like silence was not abandonment. Something was being carved in you that could not have been formed in comfort. The wilderness taught you restraint. There were things you wanted to buy, places you wanted to go, people you wanted to impress, decisions you wanted to make quickly, just so you could feel in control again. But lack slowed you down. It forced you to ask what mattered. It forced you to separate desire from direction. It forced you to learn the difference between relief and wisdom. The wilderness taught you discernment. There were doors that looked good but carried the wrong spirit. There were people who sounded supportive but only wanted access. There were opportunities that promised quick money but would have stolen your peace, your time, your name, or your integrity. If you had received more too early, your hunger might have pulled you into the wrong rooms. The wilderness taught you endurance, not the kind of endurance that makes you hard and cold, but the kind that teaches your soul to stand when nothing around you is clapping. You learned how to keep showing up when nobody understood the weight you were carrying. You learned how to move quietly. You learned how to cry and still choose integrity. You learned how to be overlooked without becoming bitter. That is why you have won. Not because everything is already perfect, not because every bill has vanished, not because every door has already opened in front of your eyes. You have won because the season that was supposed to make you desperate did not make you sell your soul. The pressure that was supposed to make you bitter did not destroy your heart. The waiting that was supposed to make you quit did not steal your calling. You are still here, and that is not a small thing. There is an ancient pattern hidden in almost every life that carries a real assignment. Before the palace, there is often a pit. Before the field produces fruit, the seed disappears into darkness. Before the river becomes wide, it begins somewhere quiet, narrow, and unseen. You may have been in the unseen place, the buried place, the place where people judged your life by what they could not see, not knowing that roots were growing beneath the surface. But roots do not ask for applause. They grow in silence because they are preparing to hold weight. That is what has been happening in you. Your capacity was growing. Your motives were being cleaned. Your reactions were being tested. Your patience was being stretched. Your relationship with money was being exposed. Because money does not only reveal what you can buy, it reveals what you trust. It reveals what you fear. It reveals who you still feel responsible for rescuing. It reveals whether you can receive without guilt and whether you can give without trying to prove your worth. This is why the river waited, not because you were forgotten, but because you were being made ready. And now, for those entering this season, the first signs of flow may already be appearing. They may not look dramatic at first. They may not come with noise, applause, or instant abundance. The first streams of a river can be quiet. The first sign is a strange calm after a long season of fear. You may still have things to solve, but something inside you is no longer panicking the same way. The problem is still there, but the terror is weaker. The numbers may not have fully changed yet, but your inner posture is changing. That calm is not denial. It is your spirit no longer bowing to the old season. The second sign is an urge to put things in order. You may feel pulled to organize your money, clean up unfinished tasks, look at what you avoided, simplify your life, or stop letting small leaks drain your strength. That is not random. When a river is about to move, the channel begins to clear. Disorder becomes uncomfortable because your next season requires more room. The third sign is one repeated idea that will not leave you alone. It may be a skill you keep thinking about, a person you feel prompted to contact, a project you abandoned, a decision you have delayed, a door you keep noticing, a quiet thought that keeps returning no matter how many times you push it away. Do not ignore the idea just because it arrives quietly. Some doors do not shout because they are not trying to impress your ego. They are trying to reach your discernment. The fourth sign is that wrong opportunities no longer feel exciting. There was a time when desperation could make almost anything look like an answer. But now, something in you hesitates. Something in you can feel when the money is attached to chaos. Something in you can sense when a door is shiny but not clean. Something in you knows that not every increase is provision. Some increase is bait. That hesitation is wisdom. The fifth sign is that people may begin remembering your name. A conversation may return. Someone may mention you in a room you are not in. A person from the past may suddenly think of your work, your gift, your voice, your idea, your skill, or your presence. This does not mean you chase them. It means you stay ready. Sometimes provision travels through memory before it arrives through opportunity. The sixth sign is that your tolerance for chaos is dropping. Old conversations feel heavier. Old environments feel smaller. Old patterns feel too expensive for your peace. You may not be angry. You are simply no longer available for what keeps your channel muddy. That is growth. And the seventh sign is that you feel both hope and fear at the same time. Part of you knows something is shifting. Another part of you is afraid to believe it. You want the river, but you are scared it will stop. You want overflow, but you are scared you will mishandle it. You want a new season, but you are scared the old one trained you too deeply. Listen to me. That fear does not mean you are unready. It means you understand the weight. People who have never suffered from lack can treat provision casually. But when you have carried financial pressure in your bones, you do not receive lightly. You receive with trembling. You receive with memory. You receive while still learning how to trust ease again. That is why the next part is important. You have won, but victory has a test. The test is not whether money can come. The test is whether you can receive without losing yourself. Because when the first flow begins, it often reveals what still controls you. If fear still controls you, you may spend quickly just to feel safe. If shame still controls you, you may hide the blessing as if stability is something to apologize for. If people-pleasing still controls you, you may hand access to people who drained you in the drought. If impatience still controls you, you may chase every door and scatter the very energy that was meant to build one strong path. This is where many people miss it. They pray for the river, then panic when it arrives. They ask for provision, then let old guilt distribute it before wisdom can direct it. They ask for open doors, then run toward every door, because the memory of lack makes them afraid to be selective. But you are not being called into chaos. You are being called into stewardship. Provision is not permission to abandon wisdom. Increase is not permission to forget discipline. An open door is not automatically an aligned door. A bigger number does not always mean a better path. The money is not meant to become your master. It is meant to become your tool. It is meant to support your purpose. It is meant to stabilize what has been unstable. It is meant to help you build, breathe, give, create, repair, and move with more peace. It is not coming so you can prove people wrong. It is not coming so your ego can finally feel important. It is not coming so you can return to the same patterns with a larger wallet. It is coming because the assignment on your life requires resources. But resources must be carried by a healed identity. So now, inside your mind, do something simple. Do not move your body. Do not stop what you are doing. Just picture the old version of you standing at the edge of a dry riverbed. That version is tired. That version is calculating. That version is bracing for bad news. That version believes peace is temporary and struggle is normal. Now picture yourself placing one stone on the riverbank. Let that stone represent the belief that you must always suffer before you receive. Place another stone beside it. Let that one represent the guilt you feel when life gets better. Place another stone beside it. Let that one represent the fear that every blessing will disappear. And place one more stone beside it. Let that one represent the old voice that says, "You are not allowed to have more than enough." Leave those stones there. They do not belong in your riverbed anymore. You are allowed to receive. You are allowed to be stable. You are allowed to outgrow survival. You are allowed to stop apologizing for becoming strong. You are allowed to build without explaining your every move to people who only knew you in your drought. You are allowed to protect what is being formed in you. And you are allowed to become someone who can hold provision without worshipping it. If this message is reaching the part of you that has been afraid to receive, write this short sentence in the comments. I receive wisely. Not as a performance. Not as superstition. Let it be a simple declaration that you are no longer asking for the river while keeping your channel blocked with fear. Because scarcity is not only an amount, it can become an identity. Scarcity teaches you to expect disappointment. Scarcity teaches you to distrust peace. Scarcity teaches you to feel unsafe when things are going well. Scarcity teaches you to shrink your needs, hide your dreams, and call survival maturity. But survival is not your permanent name. You are not here only to get by. You are not here only to recover from emergencies. You are not here only to work, pay bills, sleep, wake up, and carry the same pressure again. There is a builder in you. There is a steward in you. There is a cycle breaker in you. There is a spiritual warrior in you who learned how to keep standing when the ground kept shaking. And now, that warrior must learn peace, because sometimes the hardest thing after a long battle is not fighting again. Sometimes the hardest thing is receiving without suspicion, resting without guilt, choosing without panic, letting a good thing stay. You did not survive the drought to fear the river. You did not survive the pressure to reject the provision. You did not survive the hidden years to shrink when visibility comes. You did not carry wisdom through pain just to hand your future back to old fear. The old financial identity is leaving. The identity that says, I always struggle. The identity that says, money comes and goes, but never stays. The identity that says, good things happen for others, but not for me. The identity that says, I must carry everyone, even when I am empty. The identity that says, if I receive more, people will judge me, need me, use me, or leave me. That identity may feel familiar, but familiar does not mean true. A prison can feel familiar if you live there long enough. But the door is open now, and this is where something deeper begins. Because financial flow is not only connected to external doors, it is also connected to internal clarity. Many people miss their provision not because it never came near them, but because their mind was too foggy, too exhausted, too afraid, or too scattered to recognize it. When you live in survival for too long, your inner world begins to expect threat. Your thoughts move like static. Your intuition becomes harder to hear. Your decisions become reactive. You may stand in front of an opportunity and still not see it clearly because your nervous system is waiting for another disappointment. That is why the next part of this message matters. There is a hidden switch connected to clarity, intuition, focus, and flow. Scientists have studied states where the mind becomes sharper, faster, more creative, and more open to the kind of insight that seems to arrive from somewhere beyond ordinary thinking. Some call it flow. Some connect it to a higher brain state. Some describe it as the moment when scattered thoughts suddenly become one clear path. And for a chosen one, this matters deeply, because your next season will not only require more money, it will require a clearer mind. It will require the ability to recognize the right door, ignore the wrong one, move when it is time, wait when it is not, and stop confusing fear with wisdom. This is the part most people never talk about. The river can be near, but if the mind is filled with static, the sound of the water is hard to hear. So carry this with you. You have won the battle, but now you must learn how to carry the flow without blocking it again. The drought did not define you. The delay did not destroy you. The pressure did not disqualify you. It prepared you. And what comes next is not just about money entering your hands. It is about your mind becoming clear enough, your spirit becoming steady enough, and your identity becoming healed enough to let the water move where it was always meant to go. So now, chosen one, understand this clearly. The river is near, but the channel still matters. Provision can come in many forms. It can come as money in your hand, but it can also come as clarity in your mind. It can come as one conversation that changes the direction of your month. It can come as one idea that keeps returning until you finally respect it. It can come as a person remembering your name in a room you did not even know you were being discussed in. It can come as a small opportunity that does not look impressive at first, but carries a river behind it. That is why you cannot only ask, where is the money? You must also ask, am I clear enough to recognize the door? Because the flow does not always enter through the door your ego expected. Sometimes it enters through humility. Sometimes it enters through one disciplined decision. Sometimes it enters through an invitation that feels too simple to be sacred. Sometimes it enters through work you almost ignored because it did not look big enough at the beginning. Do not despise the first stream. A river rarely begins as a river. It begins as movement. It begins as moisture under the ground. It begins as a small sound in the distance. It begins as a place that used to be dry, suddenly becoming soft again. And that is what is happening in you. The first door is the door of clarity. This is when a thought becomes clean. Not loud, clean. You suddenly know what must be done. You suddenly know what must stop. You suddenly see the pattern that has been draining you. You suddenly understand which opportunity deserves your attention and which one was only appealing because fear wanted fast relief. Clarity is provision. Do not overlook that. There are people praying for money while ignoring the clarity that would lead them to the right money. There are people begging for an open door while dismissing the one decision that would prepare them to walk through it. There are people asking for rescue while refusing the quiet instruction that would lead them out. When clarity comes, honor it. If your mind keeps returning to one task, one skill, one person, one message, one application, one business idea, one unfinished project, or one act of obedience, do not treat it as random. Sit with it inside your spirit. Let it pass through wisdom. Ask yourself, does this bring peace with responsibility or excitement with chaos? Because peace does not always feel easy. Sometimes peace feels serious. Sometimes peace feels like a quiet weight. Sometimes peace says, this is the way, but you must grow to walk it. The second door is the door of connection. There are times when provision does not fall from the sky. It travels through people. It travels through a conversation. It travels through a name being spoken. It travels through someone who sees something in you that others missed. It travels through one person who has access to a room you could not enter alone. But hear this carefully. Connection is not the same as dependency. Do not chase people as if they are your source. Do not worship a person because they opened a door. Do not make an idol out of a relationship because it brought relief. The channel is sacred, but the river is higher than the channel. If someone helps you, receive with gratitude. If someone mentions your name, stay humble. If someone opens a door, walk through it with integrity. But do not forget where the flow truly comes from. The third door is the door of discipline. This is the door many people dislike because it does not feel dramatic. It does not always feel supernatural. It does not always give you a rush. But discipline is one of the ways the riverbed stays clean. A small budget can be sacred. A simple plan can be sacred. Finishing what you started can be sacred. Saying no to a distraction can be sacred. Not spending out of emotion can be sacred. Returning to the same good habit after failure can be sacred. The river flows better where there is structure. Water without banks becomes a flood. Money without wisdom becomes pressure. Opportunity without discipline becomes noise. Increase without order becomes another form of chaos. So, if you are entering a season where money begins to move, do not abandon the small things that made you steady. Keep your inner house clean. Keep your word clean. Keep your motives clean. Keep your attention clean. Keep your hands open, but not careless. Because a blocked channel does not always mean the river is absent. Sometimes it means the river is waiting for a path that will not waste it. There are things that muddy the water, and you must learn to recognize them before the flow widens. Fear muddies the water. Fear says, spend now before it disappears. Fear says, grab every opportunity before you lose your chance. Fear says, give people what they want so they do not leave. Fear says, you have been without for so long that you must prove you finally have something. But fear is a poor financial advisor. Fear may have helped you survive an emergency, but it cannot lead you into overflow. Fear knows how to brace. It does not know how to build. Shame muddies the water. Shame says, hide your need, hide your desire, hide your blessing, hide your ambition. Do not let people know you want more. Do not let people know you are becoming stable. Do not let people know you are rising. But shame is not humility. Humility says, I receive with gratitude. Shame says, I am not worthy to receive at all. Humility says, I will steward this well. Shame says, I should apologize for having enough. You do not have to apologize for stability. You do not have to apologize for breathing again. You do not have to apologize for becoming someone who can provide, build, give, rest, and live without constant panic. Draining access muddies the water. There are people who are comfortable with you in lack because your lack made you easier to reach, easier to use, easier to control, or easier to predict. When the river begins to move, some people will celebrate you. Others will test whether they can still pull from you without honoring what is being built in you. Compassion does not mean unlimited access. Generosity does not mean financial bleeding. Love does not mean handing your peace to people who only appear when they need something. You can have a soft heart and strong gates. You can be kind without being careless. You can give without proving. You can help without becoming a savior. And scattered attention muddies the water. This is one of the most hidden blockers. A scattered mind cannot recognize a sacred door. A scattered mind says yes too quickly, quits too quickly, reacts too quickly, spends too quickly, trusts too quickly, and panics too quickly. That is why the hidden switch matters. The real block was not only outside of you. Yes, there were external delays. Yes, there were unfair moments. Yes, there were closed doors, painful losses, people who underestimated you, and seasons where it seemed like nothing responded to your effort. But there was also something happening inside your mind. When a person lives under pressure for too long, the mind learns survival. It becomes trained to scan for threat. It becomes trained to expect disappointment. It becomes trained to protect instead of create. It becomes trained to react instead of discern. It becomes trained to stay alive, but not always to receive. This is not your fault. You did not choose to carry that much pressure. You did not choose to wake up with numbers in your mind. You did not choose to feel like every decision had financial weight. You did not choose the fog that comes from trying to survive month after month while still keeping your faith alive. But now that the river is near, survival cannot be the only frequency you live in. Your next season requires clarity. It requires intuition. It requires focus. It requires the kind of inner sharpness that can recognize a real opportunity before fear talks you out of it, and recognize a false opportunity before desperation talks you into it. This is why some people stand right in front of provision and still miss it. Not because they are cursed, not because they are forgotten, not because the river was never sent, but because their mind was filled with static. Static makes the right door look too small. Static makes the wrong door look urgent. Static makes peace feel suspicious. Static makes delay feel like rejection. Static makes wisdom sound like fear. Static makes fear sound like wisdom. And this is where I want to bring back what was mentioned earlier. There is a state of the mind that many scientists connect with clarity, heightened focus, creative insight, intuition, and what people often call flow. It is connected to gamma brainwave activity, a fast and powerful state of the brain, often associated with moments of deep awareness, problem solving, and sudden understanding. Think about the moments in your life when everything seemed to connect. A moment when an idea arrived fully formed. A moment when you knew what to say. A moment when your mind felt open, bright, and strangely peaceful. A moment when the answer came not by force, but by alignment. That kind of clarity matters. And many chosen ones can feel the difference deeply, because you may remember a time when you were sharper, more creative, more sensitive, more intuitive, and more alive inside. Maybe when you were younger, things felt easier to absorb. You noticed patterns quickly. You learned fast. You felt guided by something you could not explain. Then life happened. Pressure happened. Disappointment happened. The world became loud. Survival became normal. The mind that once felt open began to feel crowded. The gift did not disappear, but it became buried under static. And for someone like you, that loss can feel heavier than it does for others. Because deep down, you know you were not created to live at half capacity. You know there is more in you. You know there is a cleaner signal somewhere beneath the noise. You know the river is not only outside you, it is also inside the way you perceive, decide, create, and move. That is why I want to share something with you carefully, without pressure and without hype. There is a 7-minute audio track called The Genius Song. It was created around brain entrainment technology, designed to guide the brain toward gamma-associated states. It is not meditation. It is not a mantra. It is not something that asks you to wake up at 4 inches the morning or force your mind into silence for an hour. The idea is simple. You use headphones, listen for 7 minutes, and allow the sound technology to support the mind in returning to a clearer state. I am not presenting this as magic. No audio track replaces wisdom. No tool replaces action. No product removes the need for discipline, discernment, stewardship, prayer, responsibility, or patience. But there are tools that can support the inner state you need in order to recognize the door when it opens. And for a chosen one, entering a season of provision, clarity is not a small thing. There is a story of a man who had been unemployed for nearly 2 years after his company downsized. He was not incapable. He was not lazy. He simply felt like his sharpness had left him. He described walking into interviews with fog in his mind, knowing what he wanted to say but feeling as if the words would not come out cleanly. After using this 7-minute practice, he described the shift not as becoming someone else, but as returning to himself. The fog lifted, his thoughts became cleaner, his confidence came back into the room with him. Soon after, he received an offer for a position better than the one he had lost. Now, hear the principle, not just the story. Sometimes the door is waiting for the clearer version of you. Sometimes the opportunity is not far away. The fog is. Sometimes the river is already moving, but your inner signal needs to become clean enough to hear where it is going. The Genius Song was created by Dr. Robert Lake, a neuroscientist with decades of experience, and it uses brain entrainment as a way to support this gamma state process. The original price is $49, which is already far below what people often spend on expensive biofeedback sessions or devices that can cost thousands. But for viewers who are led to explore it, it has been made available for $39 through the link in the description and the pinned comment. With it, there are also 4 bonuses included. There is an audio for children called Genius Child. There is a classic book connected to the deeper principles behind wealth and inner creation. There is a guided visualization for money, love, health, and happiness. And there is an infographic with 5 habits to help shape your ideal future. There is also a money-back guarantee. So if you explore it and it does not feel right for you, or you do not feel any difference, you can request your money back. That matters because this should not feel like pressure. It should feel like an invitation. And I need to say this clearly. There are fake versions and imitation pages using the Genius Song name. Some of them do not contain the real brain entrainment technology and are only ordinary sounds. The safest way to make sure you are seeing the original version with the bonuses and the guarantee is to use the link placed in the description and pinned comment. Do not search randomly for it on Amazon, Spotify, YouTube, or other sites and assume it is the same thing. If your spirit feels drawn to explore the 7-minute practice, use the link provided there. If not, continue with the teaching and receive the principle. Because the tool is not the source of your provision, it is only a support for the clarity you are being called to carry. The deeper message remains this: the river stays where stewardship lives. So now you must place a seal over this next season inside your mind. Not with fear, not with panic, not with desperation, but with a quiet agreement that you will not handle the new season with the habits of the old one. The first agreement is this: when provision comes, I will not panic. You may still feel the memory of lack rise inside you. You may still feel the urge to grab, rush, spend, prove, or protect. But you will not let the old emergency inside you make decisions for the new season in front of you. The second agreement is this: I will not give unlimited access to what is being built in me. You can love people without letting them drain the river. You can be generous without becoming empty. You can care without becoming controlled. You can bless others without betraying your assignment. The third agreement is this: money will serve purpose, not ego. You are not receiving so you can become careless. You are not receiving so you can look superior. You are not receiving so you can fill emotional emptiness with temporary things. You are receiving so you can build with wisdom, breathe with peace, help from overflow, and walk without the constant weight of fear pressing against your chest. Let this become real inside you. Without moving your body, without changing what you are doing, picture again that dry riverbed from before. But this time, do not picture it as abandoned. Picture it waiting. The ground is not dead. It is prepared. The stones you removed are no longer blocking the center. Fear has been moved aside. Shame has been moved aside. Scarcity has been moved aside. Distraction has been moved aside. Now imagine the first sound of water. Not a flood, not chaos, not something that destroys, just a clean stream beginning to move over the dry places. It touches the ground that used to crack under pressure. It moves through the places that used to hold panic. It fills the path that your endurance carved in silence. Let your spirit understand the image. The water is not coming to drown you. It is coming to carry you. It is coming to cleanse the memory of drought. It is coming to prove that the dry place was not the final place. It is coming to move through the channel that hardship carved, discipline protected, and wisdom now keeps clear. Now picture yourself standing beside that river, not begging it to come, not chasing it, not trying to control every drop, but honoring it. You are not frantic. You are not ashamed. You are not trying to prove anything. You are simply ready. Ready to recognize the right door. Ready to walk away from the wrong one. Ready to receive without guilt. Ready to build without fear. Ready to give without bleeding. Ready to rest without suspicion. Ready to let provision support your purpose. This is the shift. You are no longer standing in the identity of the one who always almost makes it. You are no longer standing in the identity of the one who must fight for every breath. You are no longer standing in the identity of the one who expects life to take back every good thing. You are standing as a steward. You are standing as a builder. You are standing as a cycle breaker. You are standing as a clear channel. And a clear channel does not beg water to be water. It simply stays open, clean, and ready. So let this be spoken over your next season. May every door that is not aligned lose its power over your appetite. May every false opportunity become easy to recognize. May every person assigned to drain you lose access to the sacred place where your future is being built. May your mind become clear enough to hear wisdom before urgency. May your spirit become steady enough to receive increase without fear. May your hands become disciplined enough to hold what once slipped away. May your heart become healed enough to stop apologizing for being blessed. And may the river of provision find the path that has been carved through your obedience, your patience, your tears, your restraint, and your refusal to quit. You have won, not because life never challenged you. You have won because the challenge did not own you, not because you never felt afraid. You have won because fear did not become your God, not because you never lacked. You have won because lack did not erase your purpose, not because every person believed in you. You have won because you kept becoming even when nobody clapped. Now the season is turning. The dry ground is remembering water. The closed door is losing its authority. The hidden seed is beginning to break open. The name that was overlooked is beginning to be spoken. The mind that was fogged by pressure is beginning to clear. The hands that once trembled from lack are becoming steady enough to receive. And the version of you that thought survival was the whole story is finally stepping aside. Do not run from this. Do not sabotage this. Do not shrink when the first stream appears. Do not let old fear call new provision unsafe. Do not let guilt make you hand away what wisdom told you to steward. Do not let impatience pull you into doors that are not clean. And do not forget who you became in the wilderness. You became deep. You became discerning. You became steady. You became the kind of person who can carry more without being owned by more. That is why the river can come now. The money is not the miracle. The new you is the miracle. The clarity is the miracle. The healed identity is the miracle. The disciplined hands are the miracle. The peaceful spirit is the miracle. And as the money begins to flow like water, remember this. Water finds the lowest place, but wisdom gives it direction. Stay humble enough to receive. Stay clear enough to recognize. Stay disciplined enough to keep. Stay generous enough to bless. Stay wise enough to say no. Stay faithful enough to move when the right door opens. Chosen one, you have won. The drought did not define you. The delay did not deny you. The pressure did not disqualify you. The silence did not erase you. It prepared you. And now the river has found the channel. Let it flow.